second year medical student at ATSU in Kirksville.
Hi, I'm also Maddie. I'm also a second year medical student at ATSU.
And my name is Christine, and I'm also a second year at ATSU-KCOM program.
And welcome to this episode of MAOP's Guide to DOing Medical School. So today we're going to be talking about maximizing your limited free time in medical school. So just talking about how to take breaks and have time for your hobbies, which is something that we're all very passionate about. So I kind of just wanted to start off the podcast by just talking about what your schedule looks like, because I know that was something for me coming into medical school that was a big transition from undergrad, and just how you can sort of fit taking breaks and having time for your hobbies into that. So for sure at ATSU, every day is very different. But with that, you can kind of look at your schedule in advance and see if you are someone that likes to go to lectures in person, you can kind of plan your day around that. And I know for me, I have to set like pretty strict hours around like, okay, I'm going to study from this time to this time and try and get through this to-do list, because otherwise I can definitely let things go beyond that. But I think that's one way that I really like to kind of limit, like, okay, I'm going to study until 5 and then I'm going to go out and go on a walk or something like that. And what else do you guys have to add?
I feel like it's a lot different than undergrad because you have a lot less required things. So that was different for me, just having like a whole week and having just like random things every day. And also, like you said, we don't have a set schedule. So some days we have an afternoon off, some days our mornings are busy, and it just changes honestly every week. So that was definitely different to get used to not having a set schedule, because I had been used to that my whole life.
Yeah, for sure. And it does give you a lot of freedom going to a school where we don't have as many required lectures, which gives you a chance of, if there's a day that you really want to do something like go home and see your friends and family, a lot of times you do have that opportunity, which is really nice, and you can kind of just set that schedule for yourself so you can have really clear boundaries of like, okay, I'm going to spend this time with my family and this time doing school. Do you have anything else to add to that, Christine?
Yeah, I think, like, along with what you guys said about how there is just a lot more time that we can decide what we want to do with it for ourselves. And so, like, I learned that I had to be really intentional about, like, okay, I am going to study right now. It's not just like a wishy-washy time of like, I could study or I could relax. Like, it's like, I am going to study now, and then in the evening, I am going to take a break and go to the gym or go on a walk or catch up with family and friends. And so, like, that way, like, my headspace was in like study mode, or it was in like rest and relax mode, and I didn't have to, I don't know, feel fatigued that I was just had so much empty time.
Yes, exactly. I do think it's really important just to set those boundaries for yourself, and also just to understand that every week is going to look different. Some weeks are for sure going to be busier with more school stuff, and you might not have as much time to spend like with your friends and family or doing your hobbies. But then there are other weeks where I feel like because we have less things going on with school, I try to be really intentional about using my time for things that I really want to outside of school. So like if there's a week it's really nice outside and we don't have that much class, like I'll try and go outside and take walks and do things that we might not be able to do like the week of an exam or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like that's really true for me. Like when we have a week and we're lucky that we have less, you have to take advantage of that. And I think earlier on, you just don't know how to like figure out all of those things, and you don't know like when you can take breaks. But I think after a year you can kind of, or I at least have realized, like when you have it slower, you have to take advantage of that to kind of recharge, because it's just going to ramp right back up and then you're not going to have that time.
Yes, for sure. I totally agree with that. And it is hard coming in as a first year student, especially like if you haven't been in school like this before, which I feel like most people haven't, just knowing that, like, you feel this pressure on yourself to be studying all the time, at least especially I did when I first started. But then it's very easy to burn yourself out, especially having a really long semester like we do. It's very beneficial for me, for sure, to, like, take advantage of times that we do have a break, just so that when you come back to that really heavy schedule, you can really apply yourself and also, like, take advantage of school as well. And then there was something else. I think an ambassador might have told me this, a student ambassador at ATSU, when we had, like, an accepted students event that I went to. They basically gave this advice that you aren't going to have time to do everything in medical school, but if you just pick 1 or 2 hobbies that you really care about and prioritize those, then you will have time for that. And I do think that is very true, especially, like, I know for me, compared to, like, I had a very light last semester of my senior year. So I had plenty of time to, like, hang out with my roommates all day long, and, like, I was still doing totally fine in my classes. But if you really choose, like, a couple things that are important to you, you'll still have time for those as long as you make time. So for me, I knew it was really important that I wanted to stay active and also still have time for my friends and family. And so basically how I did that, one really easy way for me was just, like, to put whatever workout I wanted to do in my schedule. So I like to run, and I'll be like, okay, looking at our schedule, like, Monday morning is pretty free. Like, we don't have class until 9. I'll put in there that, like, okay, I'm going to run this far. We also have a really great, like, gym at ATSU that does free, like, workout classes, and I find that that's, like, a really reliable way. If you sign up for those, you feel like you have to go, and then it's, like, 1 hour blocked out of your day that you can take a break. And those are fun to go to with friends too, so you can eat, like, I always feel like part of it that makes me feel better when I go is, like, I did a workout, but, like, then I see my friends, and, like, we're both struggling with this one lecture, and that also makes me feel better. And then I also really wanted to make sure I had time to spend with my friends here in Kirksville, and also just, like, making sure I can keep in touch with my family at home. So I normally try to take Friday nights off. Obviously, that's not always possible because, like, sometimes we have exams and things coming up. But that was really helpful for me to just have, like, a pretty strict boundary of, like, okay, it's Friday night. Like, I'm going to go out to dinner with my friends and, like, not feel guilty about that. So those are 2 ways that I tried to do that. What about you guys?
I feel like all of our answers might be very similar because we do a lot of these things together. But I would also say moving my body is a big part of something that helps me relax, get my mind off of school. I like to go on walks and talk to people from home a lot. And even I, like, implement movement while I'm studying a little bit. So I love to walk on my treadmill and do my Anki cards every day just because it, like, is a different form of studying and not just sitting at my desk all day. I also try to make studying, like, as comfortable as possible, which I know is kind of controversial.
Yes.
A lot of people don't like to do this, but I know Maddie likes to too. But if that means after, like, 6 or 7 o'clock, if I'm going to study more and be more, I don't know, have a better time, like, I'm going to put on a show in the background and get comfy on my couch, and that's kind of like a reward I can look forward to at the end of the day, even though, like, yes, I'm still studying, but I can get some of that harder stuff done, and that always, I don't know, that motivates me, I think, to get some of the harder stuff done throughout the day. I also like going to workout classes. I also think it's a really good way to be social, too, and see your classmates in, like, a different, I don't know, environment than, like, a school or a lab, typically. I also like to go out to eat, go to the bar with my friends. Just, I think planning something on the weekends that you can look forward to always is really key for me, too. Like, I love to look forward to, like, oh, I'm going to go out for dinner, we're going to have drinks this night, and it's going to be really fun, and I'm going to take that night off of school.
Yes, for sure.
And it makes, like, the, like, working hard all week just, like, worth it.
Yes.
Like, I can tell myself, like, at the end of the day, like, I'm going to sit down, watch a show, and eat ice cream. And it's, like, because, like, I had a good day and got a lot done and studied hard. And so, and, like, I think you guys talked about it a second ago, but like it's hard to think like to make yourself take the break, because it's like you think that, oh, I have this time I need to like do more studying and stuff, but like to some degree you do just get burnt out, and like if you don't take breaks, you're I don't know, if you were a knife you would just get duller. You kind of take these breaks to like resharpen yourself and like get your gatherings back together.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And kind of on the topic of having things to look forward to, we all go to school in Kirksville, which is definitely a smaller town than where all of us are from. And so being in a smaller town, sometimes there's not quite as many things to do, but I also feel like you have the benefit of like when there is something to do, like everyone from our class goes and it's super fun, and you have that thing on the calendar to look forward to. So like we have farmers markets every Saturday, and that's a super easy way to take like a quick break to go walk there and shop for local groceries and stuff and hang out with your friends. Or we have different like local festivals, like there's the Whiskey Turkey Festival, and it's just fun to see all of your classmates outside of a school environment and see other people having fun. I know that always makes me feel better when I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this, like I really need to study, and then my friends convince me like, oh, we should go out and do this, and then I see all my other classmates out having fun, and I'm like, yeah, you guys were right, like this is a good decision. And to see other people taking a break like makes me feel more like validated in that, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's something unique about going to our school too, is that
for sure
we get that opportunity to do a lot of things together.
And Maddie also sometimes teaches spin classes.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, that was a new thing I started this year. I'd never done it before, but it's kind of like a fun hobby. I feel like that was like one of the first things I did that was like new, I guess, in medical school. So it was like a fun thing to learn and put some energy into that wasn't school related at all. So I've had a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah, and I've had a lot of fun. I know Christine and I have attended multiple of Maddie's spin classes, and we have had a great time. It's super fun. So I would definitely recommend those to anyone who is at ATSU as well. And then are there any other things? I'm just trying to think of like different things our classmates do. My roommate's actually in the dental school, but like a couple things that come to mind that are like other just kind of cool hobbies that she has that she keeps up with. She has like some plants, and she'll kind of do some gardening and stuff, which is really fun. And she also makes sourdough like every Sunday, which is great for me because then our house smells really good because she's like baking fresh bread and other stuff. But like just noticing from her, it gives her like a chance, like, oh, when I need to put it in the oven or whatever, to come like away from her computer for a second to check on it. I'm trying to think of like other people in our class that have kind of more like unique or fun hobbies.
I feel like a lot of people do like to cook or like make interesting meal prep ideas or like put a lot of energy into that.
And sometimes it just like, I don't know, makes it more fun, or otherwise it just feels like a chore on top of all the studying we have to do. I mean, I have 2 cats that I adopted during part of first year, and I enjoy like spending time with them and like relaxing and just like playing with them and things like that, because they're just so sweet and cute, and you can't you can't be stressed at them. I know like I think a lot of guys like to play video games, if that's something you're into.
Or golf.
Yes,
for sure.
Or fishing, I feel like, is a thing.
Intramurals,
yes. If you used to play like soccer or like volleyball or any of that, like at ATSU, there's just about any of those sports, and you don't have to be good at it. Like, you could have played it back in high school and just join it and do it for fun. And I think everyone's of the mindset that this is helpful to take a break. It's fun to go back and enjoy things you love that aren't medicine and studying. And so, I'm trying to think of other things.
I like to read. I try to like a little bit before bed every night.
Yeah.
I read really slow usually during school, but
Yeah, I picked up crocheting and I bought a bunch of scrapbooking stuff,
Yes.
so I think I'm going to work on that. It's like one of my goals for the second year, I feel like.
Yeah, my goal is kind of to pick back up on reading. In undergrad, I would always read before bed pretty much. And that was one of the things I kind of let go. I feel like at the beginning of last year, I was keeping up with some things like working out, and then I tried to read before bed, and I would just get so tired and be like, I'm just going straight to bed.
This time I just read a couple pages. It's not much.
I should really start doing that. But I do think for me, I love seeing like what everyone else is up to.
Oh, and people, sorry, I thought of another thing. People like rock climb on the weekends. There's like a rock climbing wall at the TCC gym with like ATSU. And I do, like, that's just one thing that I was like, oh, that's really like random but good.
Yeah.
So
I feel like a lot of people have like cats and dogs, like you were saying too.
Yeah.
That's very true.
And, like taking them on walks.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, a good break.
Yeah.
For sure.
Or some people I always notice have really good nails done. So
Yeah.
a lot of people like to do their nails or go get them done. It's a fun thing to do too.
Yeah. So really, there's like any hobby you're thinking of that you're like, wow, I don't feel like I can keep doing this in medical school. If it's something that you care about, I would say just go for it, because it's probably going to make you a better doctor and a more well-rounded person to not just do school all the time. And it's nice to have balance. Like, then I feel like I can actually, if I'm not forcing myself to study all the time, actually take a step back and be like, oh, this is cool what we're learning. Like, I actually like really wanted to be here. And as much as it is stressful, it's also fun. So I think that's something that taking breaks kind of helps me appreciate more.
Yeah, and I feel like when it's at the end of a block and I'm looking back and I think about the nights that I did do something fun, or like a couple hours I might have taken off for something, it's like that's never what would have been like the thing that made me do a little bit better. Like it's just never like, usually at the end of things, like it's not usually going to actually help you that much if you, I mean, within reason.
You're listening to MAOP's Guide to DOing Medical School. This podcast is hosted by MAOPS, the Missouri Association of Osteopathic Physicians and Surgeons. MAOPS has been the voice of osteopathic physicians in Missouri for the past 125 years, advocating for the osteopathic profession at the local, state, and federal levels. This podcast is created for students, by students, to help with the unique struggles of medical school, tailored to the osteopathic experience. Have a topic that you would like to hear about next season? Let us know at our social media pages, Instagram at DO_MAOPS, and Facebook at Missouri Association of Osteopathic Physicians and Surgeons. This is MAOP's Guide to DOing Medical School.
Something else I kind of wanted to touch on was, like, obviously a lot of the things we've been talking about are kind of like more extensive breaks. Like, if you're gonna go out and work out for an hour, like that's a little bit more of a break. But when you're just studying, like, I know a lot of afternoons I'll be sitting at home pretty much at my desk like all afternoon doing my flashcards or making my study guide or whatever. It's really nice that, like, especially for me, I can tell once I'm like starting to lose focus and lose steam, because I'll just like keep reaching for my phone to like text my friends or like go on Instagram. It's nice to just take a small break, which can be like anything. For me, I sometimes, especially while the weather is nice, I literally just like to like get up, walk outside, stand outside for a couple minutes, like enjoy the sun. Or me and my roommate have a cat, and so I'll like just go get one of her toys and play with her for a couple minutes. And it's just nice to be like, okay, take a little break, come back, and I'm more focused. So I do think, like, even if I wasn't taking those breaks, I would probably get less done because I would end up just, like, staring off into space or, like, scrolling on my phone or something because, like, I was just, like, getting tired. What about you guys? What do you normally like to do if you're kind of starting to get bored? You know what I mean?
I think I like to, like, stretch my back and just, like, stand up, kind of like you were saying. I found out that, like, I need to stretch a lot more because I, like, kind of hunch when I'm, like, studying or, like, I just, like, get focused, and then, like, I just need to, like, give my, like, back and body a break. I also kind of like to walk around or just, like, change locations. Like, if I'm, like, studying in the library and then I feel like I'm not being productive anymore, like, maybe I need to, like, go home or, like, go to, like, a different just, like, part of the library or building with different scenery. Sometimes, like, when I'm in the library, I'll, like, walk around and, like, find other people that I know and just like chat it up for 2 seconds. I don't know, I consider myself, like, a really social talky person, so sometimes I just, like, need to talk to someone, and then I'm like, okay, like, I'm gonna let you get back to it and be like, okay, I'm refreshed now.
I also love to walk around the library when usually I feel like it's procrastination for me when I'm I like to chat.
I like set timers. Oh yeah, setting timers is good.
You are a big timer person.
Yeah, or, like, trying the Pomodoro method. Just, like, make yourself, like, I'll do this sometimes if I really can't focus. I'll be like, okay, like, you can look at this one thing for 10 minutes. And typically I'll be like, when I get to the 10 minutes, it's like, oh, like, there's so much stuff I still need to, like, work through, and then that'll put me back into, like, focus mode.
That's a good tip.
Or, like, switching topics, like, if like biochemistry is, like, the toughest thing for you, you work on it, and then after a while you're just like, you just have to switch it up, like, switch it to something you enjoy doing, and that way it's like,
for sure,
not complete torture.
I like to switch up what I'm doing a lot too. Like, I don't like to spend too much time on one thing. I feel like for a while I was going on my phone a lot when I was noticing when I was getting, like, burnt out or tired, I would just, like, mindlessly go on my phone. So for a while I deleted my social media just so I could be, like, conscious when I was, like, getting tired and fatigued. And I feel like I trained myself a little bit during that to realize and notice, like, okay, rather than just scrolling on my phone for a while, I'm gonna, like, actually do something for just a few minutes. And sometimes that is just, like, texting my friends for a little bit and, like, having that connection if I am in my apartment, or I like to make coffees a lot, so or making a drink, something like that, getting a snack. But I feel like if you're conscious and, like, aware of, like, okay, I'm really not being productive right now, like, I'm getting tired, I'm zoning out, then it's usually a good time. Just being self-aware of when it's time for a break, I think, is kind of hard, or it was a really hard skill for me to learn when that was too.
Yeah, I do totally agree with that, and I'm the same way. I'll always just kind of pick up my phone, and when I did first start here, I deleted most of my social media just off my phone so that I couldn't really go on it. But I do think it's been, like, a skill I've developed as time has gone on of, like, okay, if I really need to focus and, like, I'm just trying to procrastinate, I'll put my phone in the other room. But if I'm like, wow, I've been going for a few hours, like, maybe it's time for a little break, like, I'll get up and stretch or, like, get a little drink or something. I totally agree with that. And I also do think when I'm in the library or studying with people, half the time I'm trying to procrastinate, but a lot of the times I do feel like if someone, like, comes up and talks to me, I probably also needed the break, and it is nice just to have, like, that shared experience, especially, like, on weekends before exams when it's like, okay, you probably don't have a ton of time to take breaks. It's nice to just be like, okay, wow, we're all in the same boat together. Like, it definitely makes me feel better.
Yeah, I agree.
And we all did just literally get back pretty much yesterday from summer break, and one thing that has been very helpful with, like, how our medical school is structured, at least for me, because I know some other schools are different, is that we do get a fair amount of structured breaks, especially in the fall semester. We have like Labor Day weekend, a fall break in September, Thanksgiving, winter break. And even those that are like in the middle of the semester, when I know you might feel like you need to study, I do think those are a really, really good time to take advantage and like kind of reset. Especially like most people I know go home. So for me, like I love seeing my friends from home and my family and my dogs that are at home, and like just spending time with everyone there and really limiting, if there is something coming up for school, like how much time I'm spending on that, because at the end of the day, like when you get back, you'll have time to work on stuff and it'll be fine. So I do really like taking advantage of breaks, especially like getting out of Kirksville for a little bit, just taking advantage of like stuff there is to do in St. Louis. But yeah, if you guys want to talk a little bit about like fun stuff you did this summer to kind of like reset.
I did a lot of, or not a lot, I volunteered at 2 camps. I've been, I don't know, volunteering at camps for a long time and like that always kind of puts me back into like a happy place and like grounded in like one of the things that brought me to Madisen, and that I'm interested in continuing to work on. I'm trying to think of I went to Alabama to Gulf Shores, and just like being like at the beach and like in the ocean, like I just remember, or like the Gulf, I just remember being like, wow, like I'm really taking this in, because I'm gonna go back to Kirksville where it's like landlocked, humid, and not much going on, and so that was just like a good reset moment.
Yeah.
For sure.
I agree. Breaks are literally the best thing ever. And it's so nice. Like, I always feel like I'm, like, actually living a life again, because I feel like my life I live in Kirksville is so monotonous. Like, every day is, like, pretty much the same, which I have grown to really like that. It was a different schedule for me from undergrad. But now I honestly do. There's a lot of things I like about it, but it does feel nice to go back to living, like, I like to stay busy a lot, I would say. So, like, making plans every single night. And, like, I feel like you don't have the time to do that in medical school, per se. Like, you might be able to do, like, a couple things per week. So, for me, it's, like, very recharging to make as many plans as I can. Because when I'm here at school, like, most of the time, Sunday through Thursday, I'm by myself every single night. So, that's something to look forward to, is, like, I'm going to, like, hang out with my friends. I'm going to go out to dinner more than I would, and seeing my family, too. I also am long distance with my boyfriend, so spending time with him over breaks is really fun, too. I don't know. Sometimes it doesn't always feel like a real relationship when you're long distance. So it's fun to, like, reconnect and go on real dates and have real conversations that aren't over the phone.
Yes, for sure. I very much enjoyed my summer break as well. I also got to travel some, which is always fun, especially like traveling and not worrying about like, oh, I have a quiz on Tuesday or whatever. Like, you truly do have a break. And also getting to like still balance in, like Christine said, I also volunteered a little bit, and just kind of like remembering why you came to medical school and like the things that you're looking forward to in the future about like actually working with patients and things like that is very refreshing, and like definitely recharged me and kind of motivated me to come back and be like, okay, push through your second year and then we'll be out like in the kind of real world like soon.
Yeah.
And also just being able, kind of like you said, like having a long distance relationship, like I feel like that way with my like friends and family back at home too, like to just be able to see everyone is very refreshing. And I'm kind of someone that also likes to stay busy, so sometimes it's hard for me to go home and be like truly do nothing. So I feel like it was nice to have a lot of plans and then just a few days of like really rotting and not doing much.
Yeah.
But for me, that gives me an appreciation, too, of, like, the routine we have back here. And I'm like, okay, as stressful as it can be, there are definitely some pros. And in some ways I was excited to come back and like refreshed after that break. But even like we have a fall break that'll be in September, and like we're coming back to do school and stuff. I feel like I've been better since starting about like not putting any pressure on myself while I'm on break to like look at school too much. Like if there's something I really have to do, you know, I'll get it done, of course, but just like really maximizing that week you have at home or whatever, to make sure that when you do come back and you do like truly have to study and get ready, that you are recharged.
Yeah, I feel like it goes back to what we were saying earlier, like when you have the time to relax, you have to just take advantage of it because you're not always going to have that. Yeah.
I do think one positive about medical school to me is that because we are so busy when we're here and we're in more of a small town environment, it gives me a lot more of like an appreciation and something to look forward to when I go home, because like I definitely would take for granted like just having a nice dinner out like with my family. And like of course that's always fun, but like when you've been studying and like cooped up at home and working through meals, like you really truly can go home and like appreciate the little things, if that makes sense. So that's kind of one like positive twist I've found.
Yeah, I think that's really true. Yeah.
That's about everything I had on my outline to talk about today. But if you guys have anything to add before we wrap it up.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
That's okay. But basically what I wanted anyone who's listening to be able to take away is that your life isn't ending if you're going to medical school, if you're currently in medical school. It's not going to look the same probably as your friends at home that work 9 to 5s, but that doesn't mean that you can't have time for your hobbies, spend time with friends, or take breaks. So thank you for listening.